Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and it's about the current thing that we are facing in our current trajectory towards the fourth turning, as they call it, or if we're not already there. I just wanted to do a video about this because I think it's a very complicated issue that I see people on the right and the left getting wrong and not seeing the forest from the trees, or whatever the hell the term is, you know. And then, of course, it's the recent overturning of Roe versus Wade. Now, I am pro-choice. I am pro-choice, much to probably the detriment of some of my viewers or some people that are, you know, on the right or whatever. Now, as far as not the accusations, but as far as how the Democratic Party have handled the debate, really, as much as it pains me to say this, the last time anyone has handled the debate with delicacy or intelligence was probably Bill Clinton and the Clinton administration. And I'll tell you why. Because his famous, or infamous to some, proclamation, keep abortion safe, legal, and rare, was a act of political genius, in my opinion. Because you're facing this thing that is this cultural dividing line for most people, and it's kind of like you can call it like kind of a fence-sitting position, or a moderate, middle ground stance, but it kind of deflects from any criticism you can have, because you could say, well, I personally, I mean, as far as I go, I don't know what I think about it. I've never gotten anybody pregnant that I know of, quite yet, at least. And anyways, I'm not going to go into any of that, but so I just saw this meme that made me laugh. But anyways, the whole idea that the left has not really handled their messaging with the same type of care should be an issue. People on the right have been able to opportunistically use a lot of the left's, or some of the left, and maybe it's a minute part of it, some of their positioning on this subject to their advantage. Case in point, some of the late-term abortion rhetoric that went around. Now, I'm not an expert on abortion or late-term abortion, but as far as what I know, some of the stuff had to do with like severe deformities or severe, birth defects or something like that, wherein allowing abortions up to a certain point or whatever was what they had decided upon. But instead of drawing attention to this idea, a lot of the left grandstanded and just try to say, oh, you're just try to be accusatory towards the right wing for bringing this subject up, including like I'm not an expert on what these, I haven't read into all the minutia of the details of what these proposed laws or kind of things said, as far as up till this point or after this point. I'm not an expert on that. Now, that comes to another issue, that much of the Western world is actually less permissive about abortion than many places in America. You can look at Europe. I know Romanian V. I'm not going to watch a lot of these videos, because I watched part of one of his videos because, for one, the right-wing social conservative thing is something I disagree with wholeheartedly. I grew up in an age where the satanic panic was flourishing. So I'm against most of the stuff that they propose. And I don't care what Sargon of Akkad says about traditional families and all this shit. I don't fucking care. I think people should have the choice to do what they want. If someone wants to have a traditional thing, I'm a little bit more in the middle about it. And if they want to have a traditional thing, they can do what they want, regardless of what the left says about it. And if the right wants to like force or have our society go in that direction, as far as like a default position, I'm against that too. So I'm a very social libertarian person, much to an extreme extent, in fact. And that's why I was so I thought it was very problematic. A lot of the CV stuff was happening, the Travenka virus stuff, because I was like, man, this goes against like Fourth Amendment, or like, what was the amendment that free association, free all these things in the Constitution. I was really against what was going on with that. So with regards to this subject, of course I'm very pro-choice, because the alternative, if you look at a lot of countries that have banned abortion, illegal abortions go through the roof. I don't know if it was Brazil. It was many years ago. I read this stat, and I was like, that sounds like there was more abortions there for population than many places that had legal abortion. I mean, that is something to think about. You cannot legislate this thing with the extent that the right wing wants to. You just cannot do it. In my opinion, you cannot do it. And it leans towards authoritarianism to a level that I do not, I think is very nefarious and evil. I do not think it should be gone to that, especially since we've kind of, maybe, we could go back to the 50s and all this shit. I don't think we can go back. The zeitgeist has already changed, and the paradigm shift has already happened. So I don't think we can go back to this pre-Roe versus Wade time without a lot of repercussions on things we take for granted too. So that's my opinion about the Roe versus Wade thing. Now, as far as the left, and of course that I'm going to be criticizing the left in this video, because I still consider myself on the left ostensibly. So they've done a really shitty job, almost like a Katrina style incompetence with regards to protecting abortion rights a lot of the time. And like I've seen a lot of left-wing critiques about the liberals in Congress about codifying abortion into law. They had both houses, and they didn't have the Supreme Court, but they had like the presidency. All these times since Clinton, they've had the chance to codify it. And then Nancy Pelosi recently went out and campaigned for a pro-life Democrat. It's like they don't have their priorities straight. And I think that's part of the reason why they were able to get away with, the Supreme Court was able to get away with this, because we've had this culture war for many years. And a lot of regular people are being brought into this culture war that do not want to be brought into this. They don't want to think that spreading their legs on a fucking seat is somehow threatening all women. So of course, if they're told this shit over and over again, who are they going to vote for? Are they going to vote for the Democrat that's more likely to, rally that side to vote for them, or are they going to vote for Trump? Of course, they're going to vote for Trump if they're going to be told that they're destroying women by opening their legs up on a train or some shit, or whatever, mansplaining or whatever this shit. So the culture war is to blame for a lot of what has happened with Roe versus Wade, because you had people that were so, brought into this culture war that were regular moderate people pushed to the right because of the nuttiness of some of these social justice warriors and all this stuff that happened. So I do blame that. Now I also blame, and this is going to sound kind of, a lot of people may disagree with this, but I blame, the destroying Bernie, destroying third parties from the Democrats, the neoliberal corporatists that have been people have let them do whatever they want in the Democratic Party, and it's destroyed a lot of what the left has been about, because it's more about profits and whoever's funding your campaign rather than actual policies or issues or ideas that are beneficial to the American people. So of course, when this is happening and you're told you're just a problematic pig for being a man, who are you going to vote for? Well, they're distracting you with the identity politics, both sides. So are you going to go to one side that you identify with? Oh yeah, well the Republicans are kind of crazy, but those crazy blue-haired SJWs want to control everybody, and they're communists, And the other side does it as well. Like in this case, they were right. Their predictions about Roe versus Wade being overturned and all this stuff, they were right. Now, I'm not going to take back my vote for Jill Stein or Bernie Sanders. I'm not going to take back my vote for Gary Johnson in 2012 either, or any of the third party people I vote for, because I think this is a symptom of what the two-party system has done in our country. And packing the cord is not going to help. So, and one thing about it is bodily autonomy. Yeah, you've been pushing against bodily autonomy for the better part of 2 years, liberals. Telling people you have to have like 50 fucking shots to enter a movie theater or something, or have a job. Some of these people are fucking completely insane, and then they get the thing anyway, even if it doesn't do bad stuff to them, or they're sick for a couple of days. But still, it's fucking ludicrous. The dialogue has gone insane. These people are, both sides are just fucking crazy. I think the two-party system needs to be destroyed. We have to have like a multi-party system. And the dialogue is just so toxic. I was on Facebook today and like, if you're against Roe versus Wade, you're not my friend or family member. So it's like a cult or something now. You can't have any dialogue with anybody from the other side. I mean, of course, the other side have been crazy for fucking better part of 45 years. I mean, let's not forget that they were the ones calling for banning music, the evangelical right wing. Censoring music, burning records, burning books, whatever the Iron Maiden song, Holy Smoke. They're still that's still part of the party. If you want a true libertarian party, and we'll talk about states' rights too. Well, Clarence Thomas himself, in one of his depositions with this whole thing, has said, well, maybe we can go after this or this next. So don't think that they're done. Like, oh, it's just going to go to the states and they'll do what they want and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not it. They want to win this holy war, of this holy culture war, because they're fucking Christo-fascists. It's the truth. Now, the Democrats are fucking woke capitalist, or woke neoliberal capitalist communists. So you have two sides of just lunacy and stupidity. And my friend warned me about this. I was like, man, I'm sick of all these like restrictions because of the, what? And I think they're very unconstitutional and very oppressive in many ways. Maybe I'll vote for the Republicans. He's like, oh, they're going to disappoint you too. They're both sides of the same bullshit coin. He was right. So, but if you for 1 minute think that this is a good thing, you're delusional. I think we have to have a nuanced conversation about it. But of course, people are not going to do that. They're going to go crazy on Facebook and Twitter and protest and march. I think we need a little bit of political agitation, though, at this point in time in our history, because I think things got too safe for a long time. Hopefully, this is the downfall of neoliberalism too, because this is responsible for a lot of this, what has happened. Because populism, people see as a solution to neoliberalism's woes, or the woes that are caused by neoliberalism, I should say. And hopefully this happens. Hopefully there's a backlash. If there's a left-wing backlash against neoliberalism too, we can have a discussion. We can have a conversation. The libertarian, populist right, and the populist left can have a conversation. We can try to figure out hammer things out and how to do things. And try to make things better. See what's maximum liberty and maximum freedom, but also giving people the right to not be exploited or oppressed as well. There's it's a balancing act. So that's what I have to say about Roe versus Wade. I don't know if it surprises anybody that knows me that I'm very pro-choice. I think a lot of the rhetoric, on the left has been really toxic towards abortion as well, like I said, because it veered off the crazy train, onto the crazy train, I should say. Years ago, I heard this woman I knew that said, I'm proud of my abortion, and, just like, and I'm not saying that like the left has to say like, they have, the right, you shouldn't be shamed for abortion, but you shouldn't like celebrate it either. It's just, there should be a more neutral position about it. It's just like, it became this just like fanatical rallying cry whether you're against or for abortion. It's like, it's a medical procedure. You know, it's like anything that happens. It's you know, it's controversial, and you know, you can debate what constitutes life. But in my opinion, having safe access to it and having safe access to birth control and all sorts of things like that creates a better society, a better, more equitable society. I don't think that banning birth control, like Clarence Thomas was talking about other decisions about birth control and contraceptives, that's the real dangerous part. You know, what is he going to say? You know, Depo-Provera is fucking banned or whatever. It's like, a lot of these things, I don't know, and sodomy laws, you know, and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, dude, like the guy is off the deep end. Now, whether the Democrats are using this as like a political ploy to get more votes, of course they're going to get more votes by this. I think it's going to be kind of a toss-up in the fall. I think this was a big mistake on the Republicans' part to support this, or to position this as something positive, because this is not positive. This is not good. Having a more nuanced, you know, middle of the road stance actually would be better for them. Say, oh, well, we leave it up to the states, but I think, you know, we should have this, or, you know, I mean, they could even do that. But, you know, the way that Trump came out and saying it's a good decision and all this stuff, it's like, yeah, it's not, I mean, it's just a dumb take in my opinion. You know, I know it's controversial to say, and a lot of the conspiracy crowd is like, oh, well, George Soros supports abortion, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever, you know, he's fucking, I mean, just because one, you know, douchebag supports one thing for whatever ulterior motive that he has, or Bill Gates or whoever, doesn't mean that one thing is disqualified from existence. You know, I mean, I remember, you know, growing up that there was these total like bully Hesher guys picking on me that liked metal. And I mean, later they got into rap, even like within the year. They were totally switched to rap pretty much. But, you know, for a while there was this period of time where the bullies were into the same music as me for a couple of months. You know, I was like, well, they like this, just because they like the same good music doesn't mean they're good people. You know? But anyways, that's about all.